Today, we're counting down 10 football players whose biggest moments came when most footballers were already retired. Everyone talks about teenage football prodigies, but some players spent decades being ignored, only to become famous after turning 40. Trust me, the player at number 1 has one of the craziest stories in football history. Number 10, Roger Milla. Before the 1990 World Cup, Roger Milla wasn't a global superstar. Then, at 38 years old, he shocked the football world with his incredible performances for Cameroon. But he wasn't finished. At 42, he returned to the World Cup and became the oldest goal scorer in tournament history. Most players retire in their 30s. Milla was making history in his 40s. Number 9, Dino Zoff. Most players slow down with age. Dino Zoff seemed to get better. At 40 years old, he captained Italy to World Cup glory and became one of the oldest champions football has ever seen. More than 4 decades later, his achievement still feels almost impossible. Number 8, Kazuyoshi Miura. Known as King Kazu, Miura became a worldwide phenomenon for one reason. He never stopped playing. While entire generations of footballers retired, Miura kept going into his 40s, 50s, and beyond. His longevity turned him into one of football's most fascinating stories. Number 7, Farid Mondragon. Most players dream of reaching a World Cup. Farid Mondragon did something even rarer. At 43 years old, he stepped onto the World Cup stage and became one of the oldest players ever to appear in the tournament. A lifetime of dedication led to that moment. Number 6, Essam El Hadary. At 45 years old, Essam El Hadary broke records. When he appeared at the World Cup, he became the oldest player ever to play in the competition. What's even more impressive is that he still looked capable of competing against players half his age. Number 5, Gianluigi Buffon. Buffon was already a legend, but what made him extraordinary was how long he stayed at the top. After turning 40, he was still playing at an elite level while many younger goalkeepers struggled to reach his standards. His longevity became part of his legacy. Number 4, Tim Howard. Tim Howard's reputation only grew with age. Even after 40, he remained one of the most respected goalkeepers in football. His career became proof that experience can sometimes be just as valuable as youth. Number 3, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Most players fade quietly. He never does anything quietly. Even after turning 40, he continued grabbing headlines, scoring goals, and reminding everyone why he was one of football's biggest personalities. Age simply became another challenge for him to overcome. Number 2, Pepe. Defenders aren't supposed to dominate in their 40s. He ignored that rule completely. Long after most defenders retired, he was still competing at the highest level and frustrating some of the world's best attackers. His career became a masterclass in longevity. Number 1, Vozinha. For most of his career, almost nobody outside Cape Verde knew who Vozinha was. No worldwide fame, no superstar status. Then came the 2026 World Cup. At 40 years old, Cape Verde faced Spain, and almost everyone expected a comfortable Spanish victory. Instead, Vozinha produced one of the most memorable performances of the tournament. Save after save, he kept his team alive, and suddenly the entire football world was talking about him. After decades away from the spotlight, he finally got his moment. Not at 20, not at 30, but at 40. Football has a strange way of surprising us. Some players become stars as teenagers, some peak in their 20s, and some spend decades waiting for the world to notice them. These players prove that success doesn't always arrive on schedule. Sometimes your biggest moment is still ahead of you, even at 40. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more life-changing insights.